Sport has the power to transform lives.
Hello, I'm Mark Wolfgram. I'm the Regional Athletic Director for Region 4 Fox Valley. I'm also a member of the Wisconsin Sports Resource Team for basketball, as well as a member of the Special Olympics Inc.'s Basketball Resource Team as chair. Simple layout of that. Of course, you've got the one that, the meter up for the box for that. Here is the 3-meter box that they stand in for that. So what we'll do is, again, outside of the box, we will have an extra basketball. Normally, we have enough volunteers, one may just hold it, and it's less important for where that extra basketball is for the wall pass than it is for the other two. Actually, the 10-meter dribble is the most critical, having extra basketballs available. So here's the 3-meter box for that. So, the key is you're going to get points inside or hitting on the line a little bit less, or just even hitting the wall. You get a reward or some kind of point for that. So one of the things that I always like to stress is, and we see a lot of it both at the regional and at state level, is a lot of athletes will start real close to that front line. All right. The problem we have when that is done, and we see it a lot, is they're stepping on or over as they're making that pass. If that happens, they're not going to get any points whatsoever for that. So I always recommend to start working from it, have them face out and take one step back for that, because that gives them the room to make that, and they're not running into any issues of stepping on or over that line. So, and remember, it's a big box. So, the other thing to remember is when it hits the wall, you get the point by cleanly getting that rebound. Now, remember, you do not have to catch it on the fly. All right, if the ball gets there, and you'll see this some with our wheelchair walkers, we have all of that within skills. If it just gets there, as long as they get it within that box, if it's rolling to them and they cleanly pick it up, they're going to get a point for that. But if it comes back and they fumble or whatever, if they happen to drop it picking up, they won't get that point for that. So they don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be on the fly or 3 bounces or whatever. As long as it comes back to them and they catch it in the box, they're going to get that point. So if it's just rolling, they can move up. Even if it's stopped and they pick it up cleanly, they're going to get that point for that. Does that make sense? So what we see is a lot of them, if they get too close, and it becomes a reaction time as well. So if they back, it gives them a little bit of time, and we see, or we kind of sometimes recommend to them, once they make it, take one more step back, and gives them room to catch that ball back off the wall. So they can come up to it, they got room to move it. We do have some issues where they keep backing up and outside the box. If that happens again, they won't get that point for it, but it's 3 meters, so it's fairly large, all right? And it's just 5 passes, all right? And they'll gather the points. We did include in your rules, you'll see the scorecards that we use for this. So what we also recommend is making copies of that rules card, or the scorecards, and using those during your practices. It'll help kind of track how they're doing, how they're progressing. This one, you should get at least some points, no matter what, whether you're a wheelchair walker or whatever. It's just a matter of, as long as you hit the wall somewhere, you're going to get something out of that. Okay? Any questions on that? It's fairly...
So even if they don't clean it fairly, well, they'll still get...
Yeah, as long as they're hitting the wall on the fly. If it hits first the floor, it's got to hit the wall somehow on the fly. So what we recommend, if you have wheelchair athletes or someone in the walk, worst case, do it the old soccer style. If they need to get it to the wall, use the overhead. All right, so again, if you're in a wheelchair, Or walker, again, I would not recommend wheeling them up this close because again, the reaction time of the ball coming off the wall, give them a little chance at it. So even if you feel more comfortable even coming back a little bit in the middle. All right, so try to do just a chest pass to the wall. All right, so it's a little bit, you get it there, but some of them, especially in wheelchairs, are a little bit weaker. Now do an overhead. All right, so you have a little bit more success rate if you can get them to do that. At least worst case, hit somewhere on the wall for that. So what I still recommend for those in wheelchair, walkers, canes, again, coming back more in the middle, gives them an opportunity to at least get a chance. All right? So, thank you. Any questions? It's fairly, the wall pass is fairly easy, cut and dry. You don't go far, Megan, because you're going to do others. So, that's kind of it for the wall pass. The biggest thing is getting them used to the size. I always kind of, if you can, say, find out, where the square is, turn around one step, and trying to make sure that another technique is in the middle. If you can put your arms out and making sure that neither side is touching the side, so you know you're fairly close to the center. Because if you're off, oh, I'm already over the edge. If I'm making that pass, one, it's there, and if you're off to the side, the ball is now not coming back straight back to you. So if you kind of find your center a little bit and use your arms, if you're touching on either side, that means you're off. So using that to help center you helps a little bit. Make sense? Clear as mud? Okay.